If you're over 60 and engaging in any of these 5 daily habits, you could be unknowingly shaving 15 to 20 years off your life. The startling reality is that 73% of people who pass away before age 85 share these exact habits. Most doctors won't highlight this, often dismissing it as part of normal aging. But what if I told you that the healthiest 90-year-olds I've seen deliberately avoided these mistakes? Today, I'm unveiling the 5 deadly habits that are robbing you of precious years and sharing simple changes that could help you thrive well into your 90s. This isn't about genetics, it's about the choices you're making right now. I'll reveal what separates those who flourish in their 80s and 90s from those who struggle or pass away far too soon. You'll learn about 5 habits, backed by medical research, that can cut decades from your life habits, so common you might think they're harmless. I'll also introduce 3 simple at-home tests to gauge your risk, 2 doctor-approved solutions that deliver results in just 30 days, and 1 surprising habit change that could add 12 years to your life. Most excitingly, at the end, I'll share the single most powerful longevity secret that 95% of centenarians practice, a secret you can start embracing today. And it's not what you might expect if you're committed to living your healthiest. Longest life. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. We're dedicated to delivering the truth about thriving after 60, not just surviving. If this message resonates with you, share it with someone you love. This information could save lives. The silent killer in your living room. Meet Barbara, a vibrant 68-year-old grandmother who thought she was the picture of health. Every morning, rain or shine, she took a 30-minute walk through her neighborhood, weaving past blooming gardens and waving to neighbors. She ate her vegetables, popped her daily vitamins, and felt confident in her healthy lifestyle. But what Barbara didn't realize was that after her walk, she was falling into one of the deadliest habits known to science. She spent her day sitting 3 hours reading the newspaper and tackling crosswords, 4 hours engrossed in her favorite TV dramas, 2 hours knitting intricate scarves at her dining table, and another hour chatting on the phone with friends. By evening, Barbara had been sitting for over 10 hours, and her morning walk, though commendable, couldn't undo the damage. Her doctor was floored when recent research from the American Journal of Epidemiology showed that sitting for 8 or more hours daily increases mortality risk by 60% for those over 60. Sitting is now called the new smoking for seniors, a silent killer that creeps into daily routines. Why is this so dangerous after 60? As you age, your metabolism slows by 2 to 3% each year, reducing energy efficiency. Your circulation weakens, making blood flow sluggish. Muscles atrophy faster without movement, weakening your body's foundation. What's merely uncomfortable for a 40-year-old becomes life-threatening for a 70-year-old. Scientists term this the exercise paradox. Even a daily 30 to 60-minute workout, like Barbara's walk, doesn't counteract prolonged sitting. Picture smoking a cigarette and then holding your breath for 23 hours. 1 breath of fresh air won't save your lungs. Here's your first at-home test, and it's vital. Sit in a chair, arms crossed over your chest. Can you stand up 5 times without using your hands or leaning forward for momentum? If you struggled or failed, prolonged sitting may already be eroding your independence, weakening muscles critical for mobility. When Barbara couldn't pass this test, she was devastated, unaware that the damage was already accumulating. Prolonged sitting causes blood to pool in your legs, tripling clot risk. It disrupts insulin function, accelerating diabetes progression. Most alarmingly, it reduces brain blood flow by up to 20%, speeding cognitive decline and increasing dementia risk. Barbara's transformation was inspiring. She adopted the 50-10 rule. For every 50 minutes of sitting, she moved for 10 minutes. She invested in a standing desk for her crosswords, did leg lifts and arm circles during TV shows, and set an hourly timer to remind herself to move. She also started pacing during phone calls and doing light stretches while reading. Within 3 months, Barbara could perform the sit-to-stand test 10 times effortlessly. Her energy levels skyrocketed, her circulation improved, and her blood sugar stabilized. She felt strong, independent, and alive again, rediscovering a zest for life she thought was lost. Start today. Set a timer for every 50 minutes. When it rings, stand and move for 10 minutes, march in place during TV, do wall push-ups during commercials, or walk while on calls. These small changes compound into life-saving results. How many hours do you sit daily? Share honestly in the comments. Awareness is your first step to change. The sleep myth that's aging you faster. At 72, Robert couldn't understand why he felt more drained than his 85-year-old neighbor, who radiated boundless energy, a disciplined man. Robert maintained a strict bedtime and wake-up schedule, believing he was optimizing his health. But he was making a grave mistake that was silently robbing him of years. He was only sleeping 5 to 6 hours a night, like many seniors. He bought into the myth that older adults need less sleep, a dangerous misconception harming millions over 60. This belief left him vulnerable, as his body couldn't recover from daily wear and tear. Seniors need 7 to 9 hours of sleep, just like younger adults. But after 60, sleep is even more vital. Aging slows your body's repair processes, making deep sleep critical for rejuvenation. During deep sleep, your brain flushes out toxic proteins linked to Alzheimer's. Your immune system recharges to combat infections, and your heart and blood vessels repair stress-induced damage. When Robert shortchanged his sleep, these essential processes stalled, increasing his vulnerability to disease. Harvard Medical School research shows seniors sleeping less than 7 hours nightly face a 50% higher risk of heart disease, a 300% higher stroke risk, and cognitive aging 3 times faster than those with adequate rest. Here's your second at-home test. Do you experience an energy crash between 2 and 4 p.m. most days? If so, you're likely missing quality sleep. Even if you think you're getting enough, this afternoon slump is your body's desperate plea for restorative rest. For seniors, sleep quality is as crucial as quantity. Robert was waking 6 to 8 times nightly, often without noticing, disrupting deep sleep stages where true restoration occurs. Fragmented sleep is often worse than consistently short sleep, as it prevents vital repair cycles, leaving the body and mind fatigued. Many seniors, like Robert, fall into the medication trap, relying on over-the-counter sleep aids that foster dependency and disrupt sleep architecture, suppressing critical deep sleep stages. Robert's transformation began with the 321 rule for seniors. No large meals 3 hours before bed to avoid digestive discomfort, no liquids 2 hours before to reduce nighttime bathroom trips, and no screens 1 hour before to limit blue light's interference with melatonin production. He created a worry window 15 minutes each evening to jot down tomorrow's concerns, then tuck the paper away to clear his mind. He optimized his bedroom to 65-68 degrees, essential for seniors with declining temperature regulation, and used blackout curtains, as even faint light disrupts sleep cycles more in older adults. He added a white noise machine to block disruptive sounds, creating a serene sleep environment. Within 6 weeks, Robert was enjoying 7 to 8 hours of restful sleep. His afternoon energy crashes vanished, his memory sharpened, and his blood pressure and blood sugar improved dramatically. He felt rejuvenated, as if he'd reclaimed a decade of vitality. Common sleep disruptors for seniors include medications, temperature fluctuations, frequent urination, and anxiety about health or finances. Address these systematically, and sleep quality soars. What's your biggest sleep challenge? Share below. Your experience could guide someone else to better rest. The loneliness epidemic. When Margaret's beloved husband of 40 years passed away at 65, she entered a treacherous phase, not just from the profound grief that enveloped her, but from what insidiously followed, slowly, almost imperceptibly. She withdrew from the world. She declined dinner invitations, feeling that cooking for one was a hollow task. She skipped her cherished book club, daunted by the drive across town that once felt effortless. She stopped calling friends, convinced her sadness would burden them. Within 6 months, Margaret's life shrank to her cozy home, the local grocery store, and weekly doctor visits. She kept busy with puzzles, tending her flower garden, and diving into novels. But staying busy isn't staying connected, and for seniors, this distinction can be a matter of life and death. Dr. Julianne Holt-Lundstad's landmark study reveals that chronic loneliness is as harmful as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. For those over 60, social isolation increases premature death risk by 50%, dementia risk by 64%, and heart disease risk by 29%. Loneliness triggers chronic inflammation, suppresses the immune system, and elevates stress hormones to toxic levels, leading to cognitive decline and brain deterioration. Here's your third at-home test. Count your meaningful conversations, deep, heartfelt exchanges, not just polite small talk in a typical week. Fewer than 5 signals a danger zone, fewer than 2 is a crisis. Seniors face unique isolation triggers, mobility challenges limit social outings, friends and family pass away or relocate. Adult children lead busy lives in distant cities. Physical limitations make driving difficult, and technology barriers like unfamiliarity with smartphones or video platforms cut off modern connection methods. Margaret discovered a crucial difference. Solitude, when chosen, can be restorative, fostering reflection and peace. But loneliness, feeling disconnected even among others, is toxic. Her transformation began with a 1 new person per month challenge. Not about romance, but forming 1 meaningful connection monthly. She volunteered at a literacy center, teaching adults to read, which rekindled her love for sharing knowledge. She joined a senior walking group, where morning strolls turned into heartfelt conversations under open skies. She began mentoring young parents at her church, offering wisdom from her decades of experience. Her breakthrough came through intergenerational connections. Babysitting her neighbors' grandchildren filled her home with laughter. While working in a community garden alongside people of all ages gave her a profound sense of purpose. Technology became her ally. She mastered video calls to share stories with her grandchildren across states, joined online communities for widows to find support, and used neighborhood apps to connect with locals who shared her passions for gardening and classic literature. 2 years later, Margaret's life is a vibrant tapestry of connection. Her calendar brims with book discussions, garden meetups, and mentoring sessions. Her doctor marvels at her improved blood pressure, deeper sleep, and sharper cognitive function. She feels needed, valued, and deeply woven into her community. Humans are wired for connection. Strong social bonds after 60 extend life, enhance mental clarity, and spark joy. Isolation does the opposite, dimming life's light. What's one way you stay connected? Share your tips below to inspire others on this vital journey. The hidden danger in your kitchen. At 74, Thomas was convinced his daily breakfast of whole wheat toast with strawberry jam and a tall glass of orange juice was the gold standard of healthy eating. Decades ago, his doctor championed whole grains for fiber and vitamin C for immunity, and Thomas followed this advice with unwavering dedication, savoring the ritual of his morning meal. But this healthy breakfast was igniting a cascade of inflammation, accelerating aging, and priming him for age-related diseases. Millions of seniors like Thomas are unknowingly harming themselves with foods they believe are beneficial, misled by nutritional guidance that's dangerously outdated for aging bodies. Dietary advice from the 1980s is not only obsolete, but hazardous for those over 60. Thomas's toast spiked his blood sugar more severely than a candy bar, and the orange juice, though natural, delivered a fructose overload his aging liver struggled to metabolize. This daily sugar surge triggered chronic inflammation, wreaking havoc on his system. After 60, your metabolism slows by 2–3% annually. Insulin sensitivity declines, and carbohydrate processing weakens, making your body hypersensitive to sugar spikes. What was tolerable at 40 becomes destructive at 70, increasing risk for heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and more. Thomas's missteps extended beyond breakfast. He chose low-fat yogurt packed with hidden sugars, cooked with vegetable oils high in inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids, and snacked on whole grain crackers that caused repeated blood sugar spikes. He dismissed persistent joint pain that made gardening painful, afternoon brain fog that clouded his focus, chronic fatigue despite rest, slow healing wounds, and irritability that strained family ties as normal aging. Yet, chronic inflammation drives heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, arthritis, and many cancers. His doctor's blood work revealed a biological age 15 years older than his chronological 74, with elevated C-reactive protein and pre-diabetic HbA1c levels signaling serious trouble. Thomas's transformation began with a senior-specific Mediterranean approach, emphasizing anti-inflammatory foods tailored to an aging metabolism. He swapped toast and juice for eggs, cooked in extra virgin olive oil with sautéed spinach and avocado, stabilizing blood sugar and reducing inflammation. He timed meals strategically, eating his largest meal often grilled salmon, quinoa, and colorful vegetables at midday when insulin sensitivity peaks. Keeping dinner light, like a walnut dressed salad, he embraced anti-inflammatory spices like turmeric with black pepper and ginger with cinnamon, adding them to soups and smoothies for flavor and health benefits. He replaced sugary yogurt with plain Greek yogurt rich in probiotics, swapped vegetable oils for olive or coconut oil, traded juices for antioxidant-packed berries, and chose nuts or seeds over crackers. He selected high-quality omega-3s, vitamin D, and magnesium supplements, avoiding ineffective ones after consulting his doctor. Within 3 months, Thomas's joint pain dropped 80%, allowing him to garden with ease. His energy surged, eliminating afternoon crashes. His sleep deepened, and his mood stabilized, restoring harmony with loved ones. Remarkably, his inflammatory markers match those of someone 20 years younger. With normalized CRP and A1C levels, Thomas's journey proves it's never too late to reverse damage. The body's resilience, even in your 70s, is extraordinary when given the right foods. What healthy food might be causing you inflammation? Share below. Fixing your diet can add vibrant years to your life. The silent stress that's killing you. At 69, Patricia prided herself on being a meticulous planner, always one step ahead of life's uncertainties. She researched every potential health issue, prepared for financial downturns, and spent hours mentally rehearsing what-if scenarios. Convinced this foresight protected her family, but her annual physical delivered a shocking wake-up call: sky-high cortisol levels, dangerously elevated blood pressure, and immune markers signaling chronic stress. Her doctor warned that without immediate intervention, she faced heart disease or stroke within years. Patricia was stunned. She was retired, financially comfortable, and surrounded by a loving family. How could she be stressed? She learned that chronic, low-level worry, built up over decades, is a silent killer, especially for seniors, quietly eroding health from within. Seniors face the senior stress paradox. The wisdom gained from decades of experience comes with a heavier burden of accumulated stress from losses, disappointments, and traumas. The aging stress response system struggles to deactivate, leaving cortisol, the primary stress hormone, elevated longer, which accelerates cellular aging, suppresses immunity, and fuels systemic inflammation. Patricia's stress manifested in 4 toxic categories: future-focused anxiety about her health, her husband's well-being, finances, and the fear of burdening her children, past-focused regret over decisions, missed opportunities, and fractured relationships, caregiver stress from supporting her 94-year-old mother while worrying about her adult children's struggles, and loss-related stress from diminishing independence, declining physical abilities, and a fading sense of purpose. These stressors, often subtle, compound over time, creating a devastating cascade that amplifies other deadly habits like poor sleep, emotional eating, and social withdrawal. Chronic stress doesn't just harm the mind, it sabotages the body. It disrupts sleep cycles, making restorative rest elusive, triggers emotional eating that fuels inflammation, and deepens loneliness by encouraging isolation. Patricia learned to distinguish between what she could control: her daily habits, emotional responses, and self-care routines and what she could only influence, like her family's choices or future health outcomes. She embraced senior-adapted mindfulness, practicing loving awareness to acknowledge her worries with compassion without feeding them through endless mental rehearsals. Her breakthrough came with the legacy perspective, shifting her focus from, "What if something bad happens?" to "How do I want to be remembered?" This reframing transformed her mindset from fear-based anxiety to purpose-driven living. Grounding her in meaningful action, Patricia joined a senior stress-sharing group, where she found solace in shared experiences. Realizing her fears were not unique, this community diminished the power of her worries, fostering a sense of belonging. She incorporated physical stress busters tailored for seniors, gentle yoga sessions to release tension, walking meditation in her garden to calm her mind, therapeutic gardening to connect with nature, and deep breathing exercises she could do anywhere. Even during moments of overwhelm, she became vigilant about warning signs of dangerous stress, persistent insomnia, loss of appetite, social withdrawal, inability to enjoy once-loved activities like reading or knitting, and physical symptoms like chest pain or severe headaches within 6 months. Patricia's cortisol and blood pressure normalized, her sleep deepened, and she radiated a calm confidence that inspired those around her. She now leads stress reduction workshops for seniors, sharing techniques that helped her reclaim her peace. Her transformation shows that stress, while pervasive, can be managed with intentional strategies. What's your biggest source of stress? Share below. Naming it can weaken its grip and inspire others. Final thoughts. The 5 deadly habits: prolonged sitting, inadequate sleep, social isolation, inflammatory diets, and chronic stress are silently stealing years from millions of lives. But they don't have to define your future. Each habit is a choice, and every choice you make today shapes the vibrant years ahead. The beauty of this journey is that it's never too late to change, whether you're 60, 75, or 90. Your body has a remarkable capacity to heal and thrive when you remove what harms it and embrace what nourishes it. Small, intentional steps like moving every hour, prioritizing sleep, fostering connections, eating anti-inflammatory foods, and managing stress create a ripple effect that transforms your health, energy, and joy. The secret of the healthiest centenarians lies not in genetics or luck, but in their commitment to purposeful living. They move with intention, connect with others, nourish their bodies wisely, and release what they cannot control. You hold the same power. Start with one habit today, perhaps setting a timer to stand and stretch, calling a friend, or swapping a sugary snack for berries. These actions compound, building a foundation for a life filled with vitality and meaning. Your transformation can begin this very moment, and the impact will extend beyond you to your family, friends, and community. If this video opened your eyes to what's holding you back, hit the like button to let me know you want more life-changing insights. Share this with someone you care about. These habits affect millions, but together, we can change that. Subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay inspired. In the comments, tell me which habit resonates most and the one small change you're committing to today. Your story could inspire someone else to reclaim their health. Remember, your best years are not behind you. They're waiting for you to claim them with courage and action. Let's make those years vibrant, together.